Welcome back to Snetterton, and we're building up to the third British touring car race of the day. We've had a superb day here, actually, in Norfolk. We're alongside the A11, about 25 miles south of Norwich, and I'm glad to say the people of East Anglia and elsewhere in the country have enjoyed some great racing, particularly the second touring car race of the day. And the fact is, we haven't been rained on, unlike at Donington Park a few weeks ago when the conditions were so different. Guests for some of the major teams here this weekend, and hopefully lapping up some of the good race action that we've seen. Still a bit of cloud around, but I think we're in good shape for this third race. It looks as though it's going to stay dry to me. There's quite a stiff breeze blowing across the track, and it's good sleeping weather too. Look at that. You can get a little bit of a doze in this afternoon if you're lucky, before the cars come out onto the grid and the noise gets a little louder. Well, the last race, race 2 of the day, was a good one for Vauxhall because they had a victory courtesy of Fabrizio Giovanardi, and Warren is with their motorsports boss, Mike Nicholson. Warren.
Thank you very much, Ben. Mike, quite a weekend this weekend.
Well, yes, it's the first race for us was a little bit uneventful in a way. You know, we didn't seem to make too much progress, but we gathered some points back from Jason as far as Fabrizio is concerned, and we gained a few more points in the manufacturers. Second race, yeah, it was good, and it was unfortunate that Tom sort of fell foul of some pushing and shoving and dropped out. We were a bit cross, frankly, at the final safety car, which we felt was totally unnecessary because Urquhart, who went off, was more or less on the outskirts of Norwich and didn't really cause any danger. So we were a bit concerned that, you know, that rather changed the results not in our favour. But we won the race, but it unfortunately allowed Fabrizio's nearest competitor, Jason, to move up a few more places. But, you know, it's all there to play for. I think there's about 16 points in it, which is only one race win. And we'll keep fighting to the end, and hopefully it'll be, well, Alan Gale says it's going to go to the wire, so I'm sure it will.
No doubt it will. Thanks very much. Back up to you, Ben.
Thanks very much, Warren. Yes, so pretty good news for Giovanardi. It was a good race, that last one. I'm rejoined, of course, by Tim Harvey. Tim, Giovanardi the winner, but Matt Neal was the man who made the most places in that race because he started in 18th and finished in 2nd.
Well, you know, I was saying that we were talking about Gordon Shedden's performance, weren't we, in the first couple of races? But Matt Neal reminded us there just what a champion driver he is, and you know, 18th to 2nd is a fantastic drive because he does know how to pass people. He knows how to stay out of trouble. I know that he and Plato get a lot of flack for, you know, the sort of instance that they come into contact with each other, but you know, he just proved there that he is a really class driver, and no reason why he shouldn't have been twice champion.
No, and he got fastest lap too, so you know, it really was, as you said, a great drive. But it did come at the expense of his teammate, didn't it? Because Gordon should really have finished 2nd in that race.
Yeah, he should have done. He had that gearbox problem which only occurred under the safety car. He was running fine, and even on the start of the safety car it was fine, but all of a sudden it just wouldn't change up. Either something had broken in the gear lever of the selector, and
it's a bolt apparently.
Yeah,
I talked to Ollie. It was just a bolt in
the they have a little detent because it's a motorcycle style gearbox with a sequential. If the bolt doesn't pick up the detent in the cylinder, it just won't move up. It'll move down but not move up.
Well, that's really disappointing for them. Meanwhile, let's just tell you, because you may not have picked up the news yet, that it's a top 6 reverse, which is unusual. The minimum number of drivers who will reverse on the grid is 6. Usually, recently, we've had some pretty high numbers, 9 and 10, but it's only the 6.
Everybody's been working to get into that top 10, you know, 8, 9, 10, and hope that they'll get on the front row. And probably the most disappointing is actually Ian Murray, who really should have been on there. But, you know, he's ended up 7th.
Well, we're going to take a quick break now, and we'll return with all of the action from the third and final touring car race of the day. Welcome back to Snetterton, and the cars have just been released from the pit lane. They'll be making their way around and onto the grid in just a moment. We were mentioning that the top 6 were reversed from the previous race, and that means that Tom Onslow Cole will start from the front row again. He's actually been on the front row every race so far today, but he's going to be starting from pole position this time. So he starts from pole, and his teammate Colin Turkington, who originally started from pole today, he'll be starting from 9th position on the grid. And in fact, we can hear from Team RAC's team boss, Dick Bennett. He's down there with Warren. So over to you, Warren.
Thank you very much, Ben. Dick, it's been quite an eventful weekend. You had the highs of that win and then the slight weight issues that came afterwards.
Yes, we better check Colin's weight every day. The car was very, very tight, just a very whisker under, but from what we gather, Collins lost 1 to 2 kilos overnight, or from 9 o'clock yesterday morning, but also we're suspicious of the scales. They seem to, our guys are very, very thorough, and the calculations work out the car should have been 1 to 2 kilos over, which is our normal margin. So very frustrating for everyone, Team RAC, Colin, the guys, you know, sponsors, everyone, because, you know, we had that one in the bag, pole position from yesterday. You know, the BMW's been very competitive, so all down to Tom now.
Well, fortunately now he's at the middle of the grid, and I guess from now on you'll be watching his diet a little more carefully.
Yes, yeah. We got him to put a clean, dry pair of overalls on and had a reweigh after race 1, and yeah, he said he's lost, you know, more than we ever expected over a 24-hour course. So, but still, we should have had the car, you know, a little bit heavier. So all our calculations tie up with the weights from yesterday, but you know, we're just, you know, very disappointed, obviously. But we've got to accept the penalty and get on with it.
Indeed. Well, thanks very much for talking to us. Back over to you, Ben.
Thank you, Warren. Yeah, clearly disappointed Dick Bennett's, and they certainly pride themselves on being one of the best teams in the pit lane. So that will hurt their professional pride as much as anything. I think, Tim, you know, obviously a little.
Yeah, I mean, what he's saying is it's hard to believe that a guy who's fairly fit, slim, and toned has lost 2 kilos overnight. And he's suggesting, obviously, the scales probably a different set of scales, although all the scales have to be within a certain tolerance, which is very accurate. So somewhere along the line between the two, that's where the discrepancy has come. But certainly, I'm sure, as far as the team are concerned, the car was on the weight according to the weigh-in that he had yesterday. So probably no reason to expect that it should go wrong.
He could probably market the Colin Turkington diet if you can lose 2 kilos in 24 hours.
If he could, I'd like to know what it is.
Okay. We're looking at the car of Matt Jackson there. He lines up on the outside of the front row to the grid, and I wouldn't put a win past him. He's had 1 win already this year, of course. He's in his rookie season. He's been competitive, got a bit fired up in that second race and involved in a little bit of action, particularly with Gordon Shedden, but he's in a great situation here.
Well, he is in a good situation. Potentially we've got a battle of BMWs at the front. We've got 2 BMWs on the start line, so every reason to expect that they'll make good starts, rear-wheel drive. And of course the fast cars behind them, Darren Turner, Jason Plato, Giovanardi and Matt Neal, have all got ballast back on them. And we've seen that the BMW without ballast is very, very quick. So it could be an interesting scrap at the front.
And it also intrigues me because, of course, we've got Tom Onslow-Cole in the Team RAC BMW, as you say, on pole, yet to win a race. I mean, what a chance this is for Tom. He loves this Snetterton circuit. It's always done him proud in the past. He won in T-Cars, his first ever tin top race here. He won in Clio's. There he is, and you've just got to feel this could be a very, very good, promising prospect for Tom Onslow-Cole. So we'll have to see whether he gets going from pole position. Let's get back down to Warren and find out some more.
Thank you, Ben. I'm certainly enjoying the sunshine and the lovely views down here, as I'm sure Tom Ferrier is sat there in his car. But if you look behind me a little further, you'll see a very empty grid back there. Richard Marsh hasn't made it out yet. Chris Stockton miraculously has made it out after bending his car pretty much into a hairpin on the last race. Mike Jordan, no sign of him yet either. But someone who is here, despite a serious excursion into the fields earlier, virtually took himself to Norwich to go shopping. It's Erkut. Let's see how he's doing. Erkut, can we get a word with you?
Yeah, hello.
Last race didn't quite go perfectly. That was a new line you took out there.
Oh, yes. I tried the field side, but it didn't work. So now, I'm back on the grid. So this time I'm going to prefer on the track.
Now, it was a bit of a coming together with Martin Bell, if I remember. Yeah. Is it a racing incident or was it a bit of bad driving?
I don't know. I don't remember. But I think it happens, it's in the race. So it's very hard to control on that speed, especially on the corners. Sometimes you may lose the car a bit, which touches, and then, that things happen. So that's normal.
It's all racing. Well, hopefully you won't be taking the grassy line this time. Good luck, Erkut. Okay, thank you. Moving swiftly on. Spot the pink car. It's got to be Dave Pinkney. Bright pink helmet on his head. He is impossible to miss. He's put a lot of work into this weekend. I can jump in. Really? Dave, I've just been told that apparently you had dinner with Delia Smith last night. Is this actually true?
I was at Delia's restaurant, let's put it that way. Yeah, it was a good night, good fun night.
You're being very coy and gentlemanly there, we like it. Now, moving back on to the business of racing. How's your weekend going?
We were going quite well. We were quick in the first test yesterday morning. We had a problem in the second test, so we couldn't get out, and so it affected the qualifying. First race was good. We were up to 9th, and then unfortunately got tapped off at the bomb hole. And back of the grid, you know what happens at the back. And again, we're at the back because we didn't finish the second race either.
Now, all that mess that we had in the second race, where you're sat here, it is the prime place to get collected in an incident. Is there any way you can avoid that?
Well, of course, that's easy. Yeah, I'll just I'll get the best start and I'll move up to second going into the first corner. And I'll be with the good guys. No, it's hard, isn't it? You know, we'll do the best we can, and you just got to keep your fingers crossed and do the best you can, really.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Dave. You enjoy it. Right, back up to Ben.
Thank you very much, Warren. Well, let's hope that he can move his way up from there. But let's take a look at the entire lineup for this third race of the day then. And starting from pole position, it'll be Tom Onslow-Cole in the Team RAC BMW. The Jackson's Motorsport BM is right alongside. That could be quite a dice into the first corner. On the second row, it's Darren Turner and Jason Plato, the two Seats lined up together on the grid. Back on row number 3, it's Matt Neal and Fabrizio Giovanardi. You've got some heavy hitters around there, quite literally in some cases. So Matt Neal 5th, Fabrizio 6th. Behind them, it's Owen Murray, had a great result in that previous race. Tom Chilton's got to work harder. He's coming from 8th place on the grid. And then the one to watch, Colin Turkington, perhaps from 9th. He's now lost the ballast he had to carry in race 2 coming from the back. He could make progress from there. Matt Allison has had just about every panel on that car bent so far this weekend. 11th on the grid is Jason Hughes. It's his 100th British Touring Car start. Congratulations to Jason. He's been enjoying a bit of cake down there in the pit lane. Martin Bell lines up in 12th place. Then it's John George and Simon Blankley together, both in former championship winning Integras effectively. Then we've got Gordon Shedden. Now he starts way back, I'm afraid, 15th place after that gearbox problem. Erkut is alongside him in the Vauxhall Astra. Tom Ferrier then on the 9th row of the grid with David Pinkney, who we spoke to just a moment ago. But then we're into some gaps on the grid. Now Mike Jordan should be 19th, but they've changed the engine on that car, so I'm not sure he's going to make it out. If he does, it'll be from pit lane. Rick Kerry's been having problems, but I think they've got the BMW diesel back out. Marsh is not out there. The Alpha too badly damaged. We've heard that Chris Stockton's car's on the grid, and that's a remarkable effort by BTC Racing. They've been working so hard, not just this weekend, but at Donington as well. And then we would have seen Fiona at the back, but she's not in the race because her car was too badly damaged as a result of a start line incident. That was Chris Stockton and her that tangled, but it may well have been another car involved. I asked her about it and she really didn't know how it had all begun. It was just all so busy down there.
Yeah, I have actually spoken to Alan Gow's seen all the videos of that, and if you remember, Mike Jordan in front was fairly slow away. Fiona was on the inside and moved slightly across the middle, but already had other cars there, and that was what set the chain reaction off. So nobody's fault, but just bunching on the grid and a slow getaway by Mike Jordan.
So it's the formation lap then being set off by Tom Onslow-Cole. Can the youngster get his first win in British touring cars? Matt Jackson alongside him, then Darren Turner easing away. And what can Plato get from this now? He had a brilliant Donington, but so far he's had a pretty fortunate Snetterton. He's been in the right place despite being involved in a couple of incidents, one with Matt Neal in race 1, then with Tom Chilton in race 2, but he keeps coming back, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, and the stages, the weather conditions now very much warmer, suiting the BMWs. They'll get their tyre temperature much quicker, and this is exactly what Colin Turkington, Tom Onslow-Cole, particularly off the front row, and Matt Jackson wanted.
Yeah, it is perfect weather conditions for them. Nice and warm, and they'll be looking forward to getting some tyre temperature into those front tyres. Look, here's the weaving. This is where they're trying to achieve exactly that. And you can see Jackson in particular really moving the car around a great deal more. Onslow-Cole not weaving as much as I might have expected.
No, surprisingly not doing much work at all with that car. I am surprised. The BMWs don't swap their tyres on the grid. They don't move the fronts to the rears. They stay with the ones they went out on. The front-wheel drive cars reverse them or diagonal them more accurately. But yeah, Tom could certainly be working a bit harder.
Yeah, interesting that. Matt Jackson actually laid some rubber down there in his weaving around, so shows you how hard he's working the tyre. Long way down, Gordon Shedden in the second of the Team Halfords cars, right in the middle of shot there. He could do something from there. He's been unlucky so far. That second place that looked guaranteed in race 2, well, that would have been so useful to him, but he's going to have to fight his way through the order from that spot on the grid. The cars making their way around this Snetterton circuit. There's a bit of cloud around. There's a nice breeze blowing across this Norfolk track. And Tom Onslow-Cole, in his rookie season of British touring cars, has what is perhaps his best opportunity so far to take his first win in the series. But it's a couple of young guns up there on the front row together. Tom Onslow-Cole and Matt Jackson, both rookies this season. Matt Jackson in the white and black car. He's already had his first win this year. I wonder if Onslow Cole can repeat that kind of victory himself. But behind them, watch out for some of the most experienced campaigners. Darren Turner's on the second row, but more importantly perhaps so is Jason Plato, the points leader, the man chasing down the championship. And at this point in the series, he's looking very good for it. Behind him, we've got Matt Neal and Fabrizio Giovanardi. And Matt Neal fought his way from 18th place to finish second in the last race. What can he do starting that much further up? He's on the third row of the grid, carrying some ballast, as is Fabrizio Giovanardi. So it really is very wide open. A possible race win here for a number of different cars, number of different drivers. And we'll find out over the next 20 minutes or so who's going to wrap up this third win of the day at Snetterton. All ready to go racing. Last couple of cars have moved into position. Engine revs rise, and away we go. And both the BMWs, as expected, rocket off the line using that rear-wheel drive advantage. And second place going to Matt Jackson, tucks in behind Tom Onslow Cole, who made a beautiful getaway there. Then the Seats, led by Plato, who's got ahead of Turner straight away. Turner might not have thought that too hard. He's quite happy to see his team leader go ahead of him, and then he will do the job of trying to protect his rear bumper from the Vauxhalls behind. There's Turkington already on the move, trying to get past Tom Chilton, and they're on the Revit straight.
Well, the lights didn't stay red for very long. They went out, but the two BMWs were not caught napping. Onslow Cole and Matt Jackson, great getaways, and no surprise to see Plato straight through into third, because Turner's got to act as rear gunner and protect him from those fast Vauxhalls.
Indeed, while Tom Onslow Cole's already having to defend his position here from Matt Jackson. This is pressure on Tom Onslow Cole now. Can the youngster really fend off everybody for this race? It's possible. He's got a fast car. You're on board, second place man. You can see Onslow Cole's a touch wide there at the end.
Yeah, he put a wheel over out on the grass on the exit of the bomb hole. That gun made his outside wheels dirty, and he was a little bit sucker punched really going into Cora, but he's pulled it out there because Matt Jackson has messed up the chicane.
Yeah, a mistake from Matt Jackson. Look behind, you can see Jason Plato crowding him. Then it's Darren Turner, then it's Fabrizio Giovanardi. From Giovanardi's point of view, he's got to try and get past Turner quickly. Has a little look up the inside, Turner covers that, moves to the inside himself. Giovanardi was able to get past Turner earlier on today, but can he do it again? Turner's being super aggressive, but fair so far in defending his position, and right tucked in behind them is Matt Neal, who didn't really get away very well, and that's dropped him down into 6th place.
Well, Gio's trying to get round the outside. He's done this manoeuvre 3 times already today. He's the last of the late breakers and really is good. And look at that Vauxhall power. He's driven past Turner.
Turner had nothing to do that he could do there, no reply at all. And Fabrizio Giovanardi's gained another position, so he's up into 4th place now. That puts him behind his big rival for the championship, Jason Plato. We've yet to see a real dice between these two on track this year. Plato and Giovanardi, they've been the two dominant drivers of the championship, but Tim, we've yet to really see them in a wheel-to-wheel battle.
Well, this might be the one, because Plato can't dilly-dally behind Jackson. If he's got the pace, he's really got to try and get past, because Giovanardi's going to be up behind him soon. They're both similar weights, so it could be that we're going to have a championship scrap between the two leading championship drivers.
On board, Jason Plato, you're riding in 3rd place, following Matt Jackson. This is through the double apex right-hander at Ridges. Look at the car sliding and moving, all the load on that left rear tyre as he goes through there. Plato closes up under braking into Sear corner, bobbled over the curve, and he's got a good exit here. Could be potential, but now it's a horsepower race, and Matt Jackson has the inside line for the corner at the end of the straight, but it's Plato who's making ground.
Yeah, Plato seemed to make ground just on that gear change, didn't he? There was a little jump forward from Plato's car. Matt Jackson is still on the inside. He's pushed Plato right to the outside. He's braking really late and held on to that for 2nd place.
Of course, Matt Jackson still has the H-pattern gearbox in his car. I wonder if just on the up changes there's a slight advantage to the Seat.
Yes, it's not a sequential box, so he can't change gear quite as fast. It certainly looked like it just on that gear change point. This is allowing Onslow Cole a little bit of a breather gap. He can get into his rhythm, get his tyres up to temperature, but look how Giovanardi's caught up. This is, now we've got them together.
Oh, this is it then. Plato versus Giovanardi. The top two in the championship they are now running bumper to bumper here. Seat versus Vauxhall, the two manufacturers involved in British touring cars. They're fighting over all of the titles this year, the manufacturers and the teams and the drivers, and you've got their top 2 men here, separated by just a couple of feet. Jason Plato, we're on board with Fabrizio Giovanardi right behind him. Now this is going to be a tough one. Plato moves to the inside just to make sure that Giovanardi doesn't nip through. Kicks up a bit of dust as well.
Yeah, he made Plato go slightly defensive, which is what he's trying to do to slow him up onto that back straight. He's now got a good run, and Plato's had to go right to the inside. Can Gio drive round the outside like he did turn? He's going to have a go. No, he's looking for the inside.
Still looking for the inside. Plato still keeps the door shut, and he's got to watch out behind him as well because Matt Neal is right there. Oh, Plato, clever placing of the car, and Giovanardi couldn't take advantage. Now you've got two master brains working together here against one another. Oh, this is a move by Snetterton trying to... He's got past Turkington. My goodness, that's good. He's up to 7th already. Oh, and there's contact there between Turkington and Murray.
Yeah, Turkington not having the race that he wanted. He really should have been flying through this field with no weight, but he's just been muscled back in typical touring car thank you Mount fashion. Great driving by Owen Murray.
Yeah, it is good to see the Irishman going so well. I wonder if there's any damage to the BMW, possibly, as he chases after him. Then we've got Tom Chilton behind him. Yeah, so Tom Chilton's running in 10th place at the moment. And then behind them it's Matt Allison and Dave Pinkney running pretty well, just outside the top 10. There is Matt Allison, lots of people supporting him here this weekend. This is his local circuit. He lives in Norwich, works just outside this, just down the road, and hoping for another points finish if he can get it in this third race of the day. Back onto the main straight though, and still races going on all the way down. Chilton keeping the pressure on Colin Turkington, but up front Tom Onslow-Cole with that little edge over Matt Jackson, but Jackson's caught a bit over the last lap. Then he got Plato, Giovanardi and Matt Neal, and everybody just sounding the others out.
Yeah, actually all just concertinaing just a fraction on this lap, because Jackson's caught up with Onslow-Cole and Plato's moved away slightly from Giovanardi.
Big slide from Snetterton in the middle of the bomb hole, but that's because he's just pushing so hard. He's got fast his lap in this race already, as Gordon Snetterton. He could be one of the ones to watch, as he's already fought his way up several places in this race. Onslow-Cole and Jackson, Plato, Giovanardi, there he is. Then Matt Neal. What can Matt Neal do here? He overtook a number of cars in the previous race, but now he's going to have to think this one through a little more carefully. Flashing past our camera on the pit wall there. Pit boards just being withdrawn as they go past, and then into this dauntingly fast right-hander. Get it wrong here, and you end up in the field on the outside, and we've had a couple do that already today.
Yeah, they have, and I'm just wondering, I mean, the Vauxhall of Giovanardi is carrying slightly more weight than Plato. Maybe that's the factor, although he's fairly similar in weight to Matt Neal, so maybe Giovanardi not just lost some of that initial pace that he had.
Yeah, he did seem to struggle in the latter part of the second race as well to move any more. This is looking back from Fabrizio Giovanardi, and you're looking at Matt Neal. It's the Vauxhall Vectra versus the Honda Civic, the new Honda Civic built by Team Halfords for this year. Matt Neal's had one win already. Gordon Snetterton's now had 3 wins with this car, if you include the win earlier today as a result of Colin Turkington's disqualification. So the car's been successful, but it's great to see just how closely matched all of these top cars are. Look how tight he is in there to the apex at Coram.
Yeah, it always seems to be a feature, doesn't it, of the Team Dynamics cars, that they can hold a really tight line, and you can see it no more clearly than that following on the onboard camera out the back of Giovanardi's car going around Coram.
You need to see that very much so. Matt Neal takes those slightly earlier turn-ins anyway. You're watching him now as they come up towards Rich's. Top 3 come through safely. Plato sitting in 3rd place, just behind those 2 BMWs. Now he is well placed at the moment because he's got 2 youngsters ahead. He's got, in the orange car, a man who's never won a round of the British Touring Car Championship, and you have to wonder if there might be the odd little error, the odd little slip-up. And then you've got Matt Jackson tucked in there as well. We know how solid he can be. Nonetheless, Jason Plato must fancy his chances here. He's in a close third, and look, the 2 BMs are going to go side by side. Now, this could really benefit Plato if these 2 start fighting hard for the win. Plato might slip through past both of them, and he's got a chance to get Jackson. There you go. He's alongside. Plato's going to take 2nd.
Yeah, bobble from Jackson. He hit the curbs too hard on the inside. It threw the car out wide. Jason was there in an instant.
Great piece of driving by Plato, just putting the car in the right place and picked up the place. Now then, Tom Onslow-Cole's got some pressure on him here. How's the youngster going to handle this? Just 20 years old. He's been so impressive in his debut season for Team RAC. He's in front of a big crowd of guests here, and now he's got to fend off Plato. This is how he did it.
Yeah, just you see the car bobble there as it hits the curbs, may even have touched the tyres, and that was all the invitation Plato needed. He was there straight away, and a good clean pass.
This is the onboard view, same thing. The 2 BMs went in almost side by side, then they took their place. Watch this. There's the bump, there's the bobble.
but Jason had already read the situation. He could see that Jackson was in tight to the right-hand side. He pulled over to the left and fired it out on the right. There's Sophie, his wife, looking up at the monitor. She's fairly concerned and has every right to be, because this is a great drive by Plato at the moment, and he's got Giovanardi well and truly covered.
But look at the background. Gordon Shedden's got this group. No, he's made a bit of contact with Turner. Gets away with it, I think. And Gordon Shedden running in a very strong 7th. Again, remember, he's got fastest lap in this race. He has got a bumper trailing, which is not a good sign. They will black flag him if they think it's dangerous. He's had that in the past himself. Let's hope that he doesn't get black flag for that, because he is really flying here this afternoon. The Scot, who should have had a solid second in the previous race, but for a little gear change problem.
Oh, Jackson, a big slide out of the S's, and have lost momentum there. The rear-wheel drive car, great to watch, but not good for forward momentum. And look at this. Here comes Giovanardi round the outside. Well, he's brave enough to try it.
He is brave enough, but is he going to go for it all the way around the outside? Oh, there's contact.
And you're at the inside.
Oh, no, contact with Giovanardi, and Giovanardi tries to get back. He is back on. That's amazing. How did he get back from there? And there's a reaction in the Seat pit. They like to see Giovanardi in trouble, but amazingly, he got back on. That is one of the rescues of the season.
Well, that was amazing. That was 115 miles an hour. He was sideways, kept his foot in it, kept it straight, and rejoined on the inside, fortunately for Sia. But how he saved that, I do not know.
So, Tom Onslow Cole still leading. Giovanardi, though, now battling with Matt Neal. Oh, there's contact behind between Shedden and Turner. And Shedden goes across the grass. Oh, just misses them as he rejoins.
And out of nowhere, here comes Turkington to join the party.
Well, great stuff. This is a fantastic race going on for sort of 4th, 5th and 6th places at the moment. Shedden still that bumper trailing. Giovanardi, for me, the moment of the race when he recovered that slide up at Riches, one of the fastest corners in British motorsport. Talk us through this, Tim.
Well, this is Neil going down the inside of this is on board Giovanardi out the back. He pulled that back into shape so fast. I mean, Matt Neal legitimately looking for the gap up the inside, the hole that Jackson was creating. There was a bit of contact there. Matt saw the chance, went inside. Giovanardi foot flat on the throttle and miraculously just gets it straight without overcorrecting.
That was fun. Oh, look on the grass now.
Turkington and Shedden.
Turkington's lost the place again to Shedden as he, I don't know what started all that, whether they'd already made contact, but whatever it was, he ended up on the grass. Now he's going to try and come back at Shedden again. These two have had some pretty hard battles already this season, and here's the battle for the lead too. Tom Onslow Cole and Jason Plato. I think Plato's quite happy to sit there for a moment. He just wants to ease away from everyone else. He knows if he goes on the attack, they'll just back themselves up into the clutches of all the others.
Yeah, he's got a nice gap at the moment, so he'd be very happy with second place. But Tom Onslow Cole, he won a lot of Renault Clio races last year from the front, so he's used to leading. He knows how to deal with the pressure, and he'll just keep driving his lines as much as he possibly can without having to defend.
Well, look how close Plato is to the back of Onslow Cole here. Out of Russell they come, and these two have opened up just a little bit of a gap over Matt Jackson in 3rd place. As they come across the line this time, they'll complete 10 laps. They go on to lap 11 out of 18. So still some way to go. So far, so good. No safety car periods in this 3rd race of the day. Tom Onslow Cole doing very well. Can he hold on? That's the big question. Can he hold on for his first win? Up against the championship leader, Jason Plato. Then Jackson. Then that gap back to Fabrizio Giovanardi. Oh, a little slide there from Onslow Cole as he comes on to rev it straight. Great shots from on board Plato. You can see the cars bouncing as they hit the concrete patch on the outside of Sear Corner. Nothing to choose in it really on the straight. Even though Plato's in the slipstream, the BM's, if anything, able to just open the gap.
Yeah, and then Plato on the brakes just pulls in a few metres there. Look how close he gets under the brakes. Very good. The Seat very strong, but I still fancy his best overtaking point is maybe not quite yet in the race, but it's after the bomb hole there and Coram and into the final corner Russell, where gradually as the BMW maybe gets a little bit wide later in the race, that'll be his best chance.
Remember, all these cars are on identical Dunlop tyres, the same tyre provided whether you're running a rear-wheel drive BMW or a front-wheel drive Seat or Vauxhall or Honda. It's the same tyre, it's very consistent, but the balance of the car will change as we go through the race, and it may change differently to the rear-wheel drive BMW that leads to the front-wheel drive Seat in 2nd place.
Yeah, the Seat we know is very good on its tyres, and it really really makes the best use of them throughout the whole race, and they've got that car really well dialed in. The BMW still in a learning process. It's the first time they've run with that car in this country on the Dunlop tyres, but you know, clearly they've won races already, and Turkington has Onslow Cole really looking for his first race, but perfect conditions today and the stage perfectly set for him.
Yeah, these warm temperatures are suiting the BMs, there's no doubt about it. They are enjoying our summer sunshine, which seems to have arrived at last here, at least in Norfolk today. But Jason Plato is just sitting there quite comfortably. He does look quite composed, both lapping in the mid 1 minute 13s bracket. Jackson's just caught them up a little bit over the last lap or so. There's a gap that's developed to 4th place at the Giovanardi. He's still got Matt Neal and Darren Turner behind. Colin Turkington in 7th place, Gordon Shedden in 8th, Tom Chilton in 9th. Owen Murray is in 10th, and it's Matt Allison, Jason Hughes, his 100th race, but Hughes just outside the points at the moment. And then it's Etiquette, Tom Ferrier, Chris Stockton. Glad to see the Lexus is still running in this race after all the dramas they've had this weekend. But here we go, another lap is completed, 12 laps completed, on to lap 13. So far so good for Onslow Cole.
Yeah, lap 13, unlucky for some, hopefully not for Plato or Onslow Cole or Jackson. But if Plato had the pace, I do think he would be trying to attack Onslow Cole now, because seeing another car catch him up, that's going to be a threat to him. So if he had the pace, he ought to be really trying to get past Onslow Cole.
Yeah, it might be time to go on the attack here. They've managed to draw away from Giovanardi, which is, of course, very, very critical from Plato's point of view. Finishing ahead of his main rival in the championship will just open up that points gap a little more. What Plato can't afford is a non-finish. That would put Giovanardi right back in the title hunt, and Plato wants to deny that if possible. So he's trying to use his head here. He's going to attack if he gets the chance, but perhaps not take the big gambles, because he's still well placed here in terms of the championship. Matt Jackson tucked in behind him. Then there's that useful gap back to Fabrizio Giovanardi. Through Coram they come. The car's teetering on the edge of traction there through that fast corner. And it's heavy braking into the right, left, out of Russell, accelerate flat out at the start finish, and another lap completed. And Turkington sliding his way through there. He's being chased by Gordon Shedden and Tom Chilton, and Darren Turner must have dropped back a little bit there. I think Turner lost a place or two. Yes, he did. So that has put Turkington up into 6th.
Yeah, here we go. This is Turner up the inside. Turkington trying to go around the outside. Let's see what happens when he gets the right-hand part. Does he get put out on the dirt, or does he get hit? No, Shedden gets cleanly along the inside of him after he's forced past. This is on board with Shedden. Watch again. Turkington's going to occupy the middle ground, the inside. Shedden sets himself up, and bang, he's through straight away.
So that's how it can go. You can lose 2 places in 1 corner, just like that. But that was a good move by both Turkington and Shedden. And here we are. It's Turkington and Shedden again as they come into the S. It's Shedden trying to go around the outside. This time there's contact. Nudge, oh, and off goes Shedden. Shedden's going to cut across and rejoin. He comes out in front of Turkington. Now, will he be allowed to keep that or not? I don't know.
Well, he didn't have any choice, did he? He got a little touch and he had to turn right, and it was either that or drive into the tyre wall, which he clearly couldn't do. So I can't think that he really gained an advantage out of that.
You get the feeling that there's a little bit of aggro developing between these two. There's been quite a lot of panel rubbing going on between the Honda and the BMW. Darren Turner still behind the BMW there of Turkington. You can see our bumper there trailing away, bits of car still falling off. And hopefully he doesn't get a black flag, because that would be such a shame, such a way to finish what has proved to be a great dice. Now Tom Chilton trying to get alongside the Seat there of Darren Turner. Can't quite make it happen, so slots back behind him again.
Yeah, poor old Darren Turner. He always seems to be right in the middle of the thick of all the action, but look at that, right behind Darren Turner. That's Owen Murray with a slide coming through Riches. He's driving the wheels off that Quest Racing Alpha.
Yeah, great effort by Owen Murray today, and absolutely superb to see him keeping up with these front-running cars. Back with the top 3. Now, is Plato going to make a move here, or is he just going to settle for second? It's interesting. An interesting game of tactics. He's looking for the mistake from Onslow Cole, and I think what he's going to do is harry Onslow Cole wherever possible. On board now with Jason Plato, tucked in behind the leader, Tom Onslow Cole, looking for his first ever win. He's a touch wide there. That could give a bit of an opening for Plato, but he covers the inside. Plato moves to the outside. Now the psychological edge perhaps just switching back in favour of Plato, but actually Onslow Cole made a great exit despite the mistake.
Yeah, he did. That was exactly the point I was talking about earlier, where the BMW gets wider and wider and opens the door to the inside into Russell. That time Plato couldn't pull it off, and now he's had to defend from Jackson, which gives Onslow Cole a little gap ahead in front.
And this could be the moment Onslow Cole needed to make the break. On board with Jackson, who now sets a chance of getting second place himself. And Plato, therefore, is far too busy worrying about what's going on in his mirrors than he is about chasing the race leader. Now they just begin to spread themselves out a bit as they come along Revitt Straight once again. Crowds standing up on the banking on the right-hand side as they come down this section, up to nearly 150 miles an hour before getting on to the brakes under the bridge into the S's, and Jackson trying to go around the outside of Plato, and he's got the line. They make a bit of contact. Jackson's alongside, but here comes Giovanardi. Giovanardi's got one, he's got two, they're on the grass. Surely not. How are they going to get out of this? They're still going. And look, up the inside comes Matt Neal to get past all of them.
Well, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, Giovanardi, the opportunities went up the inside. They were on the grass, rallycross style. I thought we saw enough rallycross up at Donington, but I've never seen anything like that.
That was just astonishing. I think Giovanardi got a confidence driving on the grass earlier on. He thought anything goes now, and that was just remarkable. Talk us through
Well,
it, Tim.
Jackson and Plato side-by-side contact. Giovanardi sees the opportunity up the inside, gets a little bit of a run, thinks I can have Plato. Plato's moving over, he's on the grass. They go through, they miraculously turn to the right and don't spin. Poor Jackson gets fed out onto the outside. Here we are on board with Giovanardi. You can see why he went there. It was a perfect opportunity. But Plato's moving across there. He ends up on the grass, side by side, off the throttle, on the throttle, round to the right, and through on the inside goes Matt Neal.
That was just unbelievable. Great racing though, and they all got through. You have to feel for Jackson as a result of all that. But Matt Neal took advantage beautifully. He had the car in exactly the right place at the right time. You wonder if Giovanardi's and Plato's cars are okay, but they both seem to be running fair enough. They don't seem to have damaged their cars too badly. But Matt Neal now running in second place, remember, and this is all allowed Tom Onslow Cole a very, very healthy lead. He's 4 seconds up the road. This really could be a new winner in British Touring.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be in a very, very deserved one. Not only a victory for RAC, West Surrey Racing, based down the road, as you say, RAC in Norwich, but also the first win for Tom Onslow Cole, the current reigning Renault Clio champion, his debut year, and he's going to take his debut win, I'm sure of it. He must have been laughing when he saw all that going on his mirrors, but what a position to be in. Your last lap with a comfortable lead, and he's going to enjoy every moment of it. Giovanardi has now got past Plato, obviously in that melee, so Plato's small points advantage in this race is gone.
Yeah, but remember, Plato has a reasonably good advantage over Giovanardi anyway, so as long as he finishes, he won't be too badly off. But as you say, Tom Onslow Cole has driven a superb race. We wondered if he'd keep his head. Well, he has done, and he's fought off the pressure of Plato for the majority of the race, and then when it all kicked loose behind, he drew away, and this has been a fabulous run from the 20-year-old. Behind him is still pretty tight for second between Matt Neal and Fabrizio Giovanardi, followed by Jason Plato, Gordon Shedden, and Colin Turkington's running in 6th. Matt Jackson has dropped all the way to 7th as a result of that rally crossing moment. But here we go, down through the final corner. We're going to have another new winner in the British Touring Car Championship. It is the youngster from Kingston in Surrey. It's Tom Onslow Cole who takes the win for Team RAC. The team celebrates. Second place goes to Matt Neal. Fabrizio Giovanardi takes 3rd for Vauxhall. Plato 4th for Seat. Then it's Shedden in 5th place and Turkington in 6th position. And, well, Tom Onslow Cole in his first season of British Touring Cars. He's had a couple of second places already this year, but now he has taken the big one. It's his first win, and there's going to be some real jubilation down there for the crew. For Team RAC, for all the WSR guys, this is going to be a special moment.
Yeah, it's a coming of age, isn't it, for young Tom Onslow Cole. It's been fantastic to see the youngsters, Tom Onslow Cole, Matt Jackson, get their debut wins in their debut season. It just shows it can be done, and it's a shining example for all the aspiring drivers in Clios and Seats. It can be done.
Well, just great stuff. Onslow Cole, the winner. Matt Neal finishing in 2nd position in the end, so Matt Neal really got a good result out of that. He certainly was in the right place at the right time. Fabrizio Giovanardi finishes in 3rd place, Jason Plato 4th, Gordon Shedden in 5th ahead of Colin Turkington. Matt Jackson dropped to 7th, I'm afraid, after a great run. Tom Chilton was 8th, Darren Turner finished 9th, and Owen Murray took the final point in 10th. So a fantastic third race of the day here, and we've really enjoyed the show at Snetterton. Well, we're going to take a quick break now, and we'll be back with all of the reactions. Stay with us on Setanta Sports. Welcome back to Snetterton. What a result for Tom Onslow Cole. The youngster's done it. He's taken his first win in British Touring Cars, and Team RAC have got a pair of winners now between them, him and Colin Turkington, and that was just wonderfully done by Tom Onslow Cole. So let's just see what that race result has meant to the championship. Jason Plato still leads. His gap has been reduced over the course of the day. There's no doubt about it. Up to 14 points the gap now, well, down to 14. It started at 25, so that has been a useful day for Giovanardi and VX Racing. I think they would have hoped to have closed it a little more than that, but nonetheless, they've made progress. Matt Neal is back into third, where he started the day for a little while. Gordon Shedden was ahead of him. Colin Turkington should have had more, but that disqualification hurt him hard. And Matt Jackson, look, you know how much he lost out there at the last part of the race, dropping to 7th as a result of a bit of argy-bargy. Otherwise, he'd have been ahead of Colin Turkington. Chilton's in 7th, ahead of Turner. Mike Jordan, who was out of luck today, couldn't change the engine in time, and Tom Onslow Cole now in 10th place as courtesy of the victory in that third and final race. So let's get down to the pits, and Warren is with Matt Neal.
Thank you very much, Ben. Well, Matt, you said in that last one you're just going to take it race by race. That implies a sort of casual approach. That was anything but casual, and here you are in second.
Well, it was just all kicking off in front of me. I was on the radio saying all hell's broken loose out here. We're about 2 laps from the end, but mega, another good result for the team. Second, I mean, just want that top spot, but fantastic for Tom, you know, and Team RAC. Fair play to him. I remember what I felt like in my first victory, and it's mega.
It's a lovely, warm feeling. Now, just going back to that incident you were talking about, what is it about the bomb hole? Last year, the most spectacular incident of the season, yourself and Jason Plato there. This year, yourself, Jason Plato, supporting cast of Giovanardi and Jackson. That should have been 4 cars off the track. How did you stay on?
Well, there's one common denominator here in drivers, isn't there? It's Jason. And I was fortunate enough to be watching it from the outside, but yeah, I was just glad I wasn't involved.
Well done, Matt. Keep going for the rest of the season. Now, Fabrizio.
Sorry about that.
Another man who's done very well for himself. Obviously, they're having a bit of a love in here, but they've finished it. Fabrizio, how was that incident at the bomb hole for you?
Which incident?
Do you remember that small one where a couple of cars went off the grass and you should have all left?
Yeah. I missed the circuit, I don't know for which reason, and I was in the grass. I enjoy to be in the grass. I'm loving in the English grass. It's so soft.
Well, I noticed you had an extra go at the end of the start-finish straight when you took a little taste of the grass, and that had to be the save of the century.
Well, yeah, it was a good show for the people that are watching, you know.
And for you?
Yeah, well, for me, no problem. I'm in my habit to drive like that. When the other driver hit me, no problem. I enjoy it.
Must be the Italian passion. And how do you feel for the rest of the championship now? Because it's been a good weekend.
Yeah, I'm feel good like before because I had just a bad weekend in Donington, unlucky weekend for the wiper. I've lost a lot of points against Plato, but I am really confident because our car is quite fast everywhere.
Fabrizio, thank you very much. We'll let you get on with the celebrations. Now, there's another man here. Dick Bennett, Team RAC manager. Did I notice a bit of a tear in your eye there as Tom took his first win?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful moment, isn't it? I mean, everything the team's put in, everything you've put in, everything he's put in, and this is what racing's all about, isn't it?
It's unreal. I actually predicted this weekend that Tom would have a good weekend, so it's all come true. No.
I mean, I know you had good hopes for him, but did you really think it would happen so quickly this season?
Oh yeah, no, we're right there, so it's I can't be happy for him, I tell you.
It's beautiful. Here's the man himself. Tom, it's a very emotional moment down here. How are you coping with it all?
Yeah, it's. I don't think it's sunk in yet at all. I imagine I'll be driving home down the M11 and it'll probably kick in. But no, it's fantastic, and it's a great place for me to take it. It's the Team RAC's home event, and it's been fantastic. It's been such a good weekend. The support from all the guys here has been awesome.
Yeah, no, it's been a very good thing to see, but you really had to earn that because Jason put you under a lot of pressure. He's a very experienced campaigner. This is your first season in touring cars. How was that with him filling your mirrors so much?
Yeah, definitely. He did put me under a lot of pressure. As I say, we weren't necessarily the quickest through the whole race, but we were very consistent. I was just trying to keep my head down and try and keep the gap. at stages he was very close, and I had to back him up a little bit and try and drop him into the guys behind. But I mean, it worked, and it's a good confidence boost knowing racing with Jason like that. I've had a couple of battles over the last few rounds with him, and he's been good to race against.
Very good. And just a quick one finally. When you saw that massive array of carnage in your mirrors with 2 laps to go, how big was your smile?
Yeah, no, like a Cheshire cat maybe. It hit the side of the helmet, I think. No, when that did happen, that was quite a big relief, really. It was just a case of bringing the car home then.
Tom, well done, well earned. Right, back up to you, Ben.
Thanks very much, Warren. Yeah, a great result there for the youngster who won last year's Renault Clio Championship, another of the support races, and we'll be seeing more of that kind of action coming up here on Setanta Sports.